The never-ending room. Some places defy logic. Some doors, once opened, refuse to be closed. Tonight, I will tell you a story about a man who entered a room that shouldn't exist. A place where time and space break apart, and once you step inside, you might never leave. If you enjoy unsettling tales, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let's begin. The Hotel of Whispers. Ethan Grayson was just looking for a place to sleep. After driving for hours through an unfamiliar countryside, exhaustion forced him to pull over at a small roadside motel. The sign flickered in the night, Hollow Pines Inn. It looked old, forgotten, the kind of place that shouldn't be open anymore. But the vacancy sign glowed red. Too tired to care, Ethan parked and walked into the dimly lit lobby. A man at the front desk, pale and silent, handed him a key without a word. The number 606 was etched into the metal tag. Ethan nodded, took the key, and climbed the narrow, creaking stairs. The hallway smelled of dust and something else. Something metallic, like rust or blood. When he reached room 606, he hesitated. There was something off about the door. It looked newer than the others, freshly painted, as if it didn't belong. But sleep weighed heavy on him. He inserted the key and stepped inside. The room was ordinary. A bed, a desk, a window overlooking an empty parking lot. Nothing unusual. At least, not yet. The first night, Ethan barely managed to kick off his shoes before collapsing onto the bed. He didn't bother checking the closet, the bathroom, or locking the door. Sleep took him instantly. But something woke him in the middle of the night. A soft knocking. Not at the door, at the closet. Ethan's body stiffened. The room was completely dark, but he could feel it, the weight of something watching him from inside that closet. His breath slowed. The knocking came again, slow and deliberate. For a long time, he did nothing, just listened. Then, suddenly, silence. Eventually, Ethan exhaled, forcing himself to relax. Maybe it was the pipes. Maybe the motel was just old, creaky. He turned over and tried to ignore the lingering sense of unease. But before he could fall asleep again, something whispered from inside the closet. "You shouldn't have come." The room that traps you. The next morning, Ethan barely remembered falling back asleep. The whisper could have been a dream, a half-conscious trick of the mind. But as he stretched and rubbed his eyes, his stomach twisted. The room was different. The furniture had moved. The bed was now against the opposite wall. The window showed a different view, no longer the parking lot, but a dense, endless forest. Ethan sat up fast. His heart pounded as he turned to the door. He grabbed the handle, twisted, locked. He rattled the knob harder. No use. Panic surged in his chest. What the hell was going on? Then, behind him, the closet door creaked open. Ethan spun around. The closet should have been empty. It wasn't. Inside, there was another door. A door identical to the one he had just tried to open. And beyond it, a dimly lit hallway stretched endlessly into darkness. The never-ending hall. Ethan stood frozen, his mind struggling to understand. There was no way a hallway could fit inside a motel closet. No way it could extend that far. Then something moved inside the hallway. A shadow, shifting in the distance. It wasn't human. It was taller, thinner, with joints that bent the wrong way. And it was coming closer. Ethan didn't wait. He ran through the door, slamming it behind him. He expected to be back in the hallway of the motel. Instead, he was standing in another identical room. The same bed. The same window showing an unfamiliar landscape. The same closet. He was back where he started. The only difference, the knocking had started again. The descent into madness. Ethan lost track of time. Every time he tried to leave, he ended up in another version of room 606. Each time, the view outside the window changed. Snow-covered mountains, a burning city, a vast ocean with no horizon. The whispers grew louder. The knocking never stopped. And worst of all, the thing in the hallway was getting closer. He tried everything. He screamed. He broke the furniture. He even smashed the window, hoping to climb out. But there was no outside. Just a void. An endless black abyss. When he turned back, the room had reset. The bed was made. The closet was closed. And the door was still locked. Ethan sat on the floor, his mind unraveling. Was he dead? Trapped in some kind of purgatory? Then, for the first time, his phone buzzed. A message. There is a way out. His hand shook as he typed a reply. How? The response came instantly. You have to let it in. The final choice. Ethan stood before the closet door, his breath unsteady. He didn't know what would happen if he opened it. Would the thing in the hallway take him? Would he finally escape? Or would he disappear like all the others before him? There was no way to know. Slowly, he reached for the handle. The knocking stopped. The door swung open on its own. Inside, the hallway stretched before him, and at the far end stood the figure, motionless, waiting. Its head tilted at an unnatural angle, its fingers twitching eagerly. It smiled. Ethan took a deep breath and stepped inside. The motel still stands. No one ever found Ethan Grayson. His car remained parked outside the Hollow Pines Inn, covered in dust. The motel owner, when questioned, simply shrugged. Room 606? We don't have a room 606. Never did. But travelers passing through have reported strange occurrences. Faint knocking sounds in the night, a whisper through the vents. And sometimes, guests wake up in a different room than the one they checked into. If you ever stay in a roadside motel, be careful which door you open, because some rooms don't let you leave. If you enjoyed this story, remember to like and subscribe. And if you ever hear knocking from your closet, whatever you do, don't open the door.